Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today I prepare an easy and seasonal dish, asparagus and chickpea salad. But first, a fascinating tour of Altium Battery Plant in Lordstown. Its impact on the valley will continue to grow. Altium Cells partners GM with LG Energy Solutions from South Korea. The plant is 2.8 million square feet, 1/2 mile long, and the construction of the plant has employed some 2,000 building trade members. And in late summer, the plant will begin producing the battery cells and will have 850 salaried and hourly positions and will continue to expand as demand increases. The business manager for the IBEW 573 is Mike Nemkovich, and we're out front here at the Altium plant. This place is insane. I had no idea the scope and size of this facility. How many of your electricians are in there?
Right now,
local?
we probably, locally, we probably have 150 to 200, but total we have probably somewhere around 400 electricians on site.
And how long has this construction been underway? When did they break ground?
I sent the first electrician out here April of 2020, and I'm continuing to send people out twice a week.
Now, will this become like a maintenance facility too? Will those jobs, those electrician jobs, stay once Altium is open and producing the batteries?
We're hoping for that, but that's up to Altium. Ultimately it's their decision who they hire for maintenance, but we're hoping it'll be our members.
How much has this facility done for the union trades here in our valley?
Oh, it's been great. 2019 was a terrible year for us. Since this has started, we have more work than we've ever had in our history, and it's great for our funds, our pension, our health care, everything.
With apprenticeships and things like that from our valley, are you seeing an uptick in recruits because of all the construction and all the development that's happening?
We're hoping for more of an uptick though, because naturally we need people, but it's also a great opportunity for young kids as well as older people to get in and get a career that pays well, has good benefits, and is a lifelong career.
So where are we headed right now?
So currently we're heading west, and then we'll make a right, and we'll be in the center spine of the plant, which is a 1/2 mile long.
A 1/2 mile long?
Yes, 1/2 mile long.
I just had no idea that this place was going to be this massive. Currently, how many people are working in this plant?
Currently, from an Altium Cells employee perspective, or from an entire perspective?
From entire, between Altium and, with the construction workers.
With the construction trades, we have about almost 2,000 construction trade workers here on a daily basis. Currently, Altium Cells is a workforce of nearly 350 employees. And we're looking to scale to 700 by the end of this year, and then reach that 1,300 mark by the end of 2023.
Are we currently making any of the product yet? Have we started with any of the battery technology? Is that underway?
So our start of regular production is slated for August of this year. So August of this year, we will start regular production.
And then all the chemicals and minerals and all the things that are going to have to come in to make up these batteries.
Battery cells.
The battery cells, rather. Are those readily available? Where do we get those?
So we're working on our supply chain. Obviously, we are focused on a sustainable supply chain. So a lot of them come from a variety of different places. But there have been recent announcements with the GM and POSCO in North America. So we're working on bringing and centralizing that supply chain here in North America. So this is what I was mentioning when I say we're going to head west and then make a right, and we'll be in the center spine, which is that 1/2 mile lengthwise.
Kevin Kerr is the plant manager.
Yep.
And you are overseeing the employees and the construction.
I am.
So you've got quite a job.
Massive responsibility.
Massive responsibility. So August, we're looking at our first production of the battery cells.
Yep.
How many do you think we'll produce in August?
Oh, it's a significant amount. It's I couldn't tell you what the quantity is per day. I mean, we'll have a ramp up starting in August towards our full production goal, but yeah, there's a lot of demand for this product, obviously for General Motors, for all the EV programs that they have.
Exactly. So do we have, like, the first vehicle is going to be the Hummer EV out of Detroit. Are they sitting there waiting for these things? Are they like constructed?
So they're getting cells right now from another plant in Korea that's kind of a low volume. So that was always the plan from the beginning. As we were under construction, they would get cells from Korea, and then at some point we come alongside and then we'll provide those cells. So no, there's no vehicles waiting on cells
like they're
today.
talking about the chips, and I'm wondering, are they all sitting there waiting for these things?
No.
So, but then we'll just move right in.
Yep.
So what kind of specialties or what kind of education are we looking at for employees that are going to be coming in here? What is their skills?
Yeah, from a salaried workforce standpoint, it's really been all over the map, right? We're looking for, you could be mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, chemical engineer. There's really a need for all of those different, backgrounds to apply to what we're doing.
And chemists, do we need people?
We do. I mean, this is really a chemical process when you think of it, right? It's how the battery gets made and how it formulates. So yeah, there's definitely ways to apply chemical backgrounds to this business for sure.
Our tour of Altium Cells continues right after this.
Kamara Jewelers is the place to buy an engagement ring because we want a relationship with you that lasts a lifetime. Your commitment with her is the same commitment we have to you.
We want to sit down with you and teach you about diamonds so you're educated on what you're buying. We have the largest selection we ever have, which is the largest in the area, and at the best value. And if it's not something in our case, we could always custom make it. We can make any dream come true.
Get real, get Kamara.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old Road Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living. Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available at $13 an hour. Given is living.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old-style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
R&S Paint is a locally owned paint store and not a paint department. Inspiration comes easy when choosing exciting Benjamin Moore colors and finish. Over 3,400 vibrant and durable colors are yours at R&S Paint.
Family-owned Mayflower Woolham Insurance Group is your full-service independent agency. Our family works with a variety of insurance companies, so you have the best choices for your insurance needs. Let us find the right product at the right price. Personal lines, business, farm, commercial insurance, life insurance. Trust locally owned Mayflower Woolen. You focus on what's important.
We'll take care of the details.
Mayflower Woolen, close by with 3 locations to serve you.
Are you going to have, I thought I read that you're going to have the ability to recycle here too and reuse from other...
We have a partnership with a company called Li-Cycle, and so they're in the business. They're going to set up a facility actually here on site, and what they'll do is take batteries at the end of their life out of the vehicle and refine them down to their natural kind of ingredients, if you will, and then that'll go back to the refinery to kind of start the process over. So yeah, it's kind of unique, right? We'll have we'll have not only battery manufacturing but battery recycling that's taking place on the site.
What is the life of the batteries that you'll be producing?
Yeah, that's hard to say. It's it really depends on range and usage and a lot of different factors, but that's always expanding year over year with new technology. But so this is just showing the installation in progress. We have the first 4 lines installed, and then we'll just keep adding more capacity as we come out this way to populate this whole room. So you can imagine the volume that we'll be producing through here.
And putting all the equipment together.
Yeah.
I mean,
massive.
And then that's a joint between
it is,
GM
yeah.
and LG.
The whole company is a joint because really from GM's standpoint, LG is a leader in battery technology. So we knew in order to really propagate and get quickly on the road we had to develop a relationship with a joint venture. So yeah, it's a 50-50 joint venture. There's LG employees, there's GM employees, and then there's Ultium Cells employees that are here. So you can see we're going through the debug phase right now and getting things powered up, but that's why I say the first third of the plant is kind of very chemical based. This is very high speed equipment where we're going to be.
So this will be actually where it'll be assembled.
We'll have cells going through here and various processes that take place. So once you've gone through the mixing area, you've gone through the assembly area, and you've made a battery cell, they'll go into these racks, right? And for a certain amount of time, they'll sit in there, mature. Kind of, that's why I was saying it's almost like making wine, right? It's got to have some time to mature. And then it goes through various testing with some of the equipment in here. And once it's validated that it's acceptable, then it goes to the end of line and processed to the customer. So that's why I say it's unique to see, because it's a very, very different process than I think what most people think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that assembly line at all. It's not running through, Laverne and Shirley or whatever.
No.
I mean, nothing like that.
No.
Are you seeing that YSU and the other universities are helping with, this kind of technology?
Oh yeah, for sure. YSU has been a great partner. In fact, we've utilized their facilities a lot. When we didn't have a building, we spent a lot of time at YSU kind of doing training with the early staff, but they actually facilitated some cultural training for us to understand Korean culture, help Korean culture understand U.S. culture. So this is really the building, end of the building where we call our shipping area, right? So when you've manufactured, you come out of the formation cells, you've passed all the tests, you'll come in here for some last minute equipment checks, and then the battery cell is ready to go to the customer. So, and to your earlier point, I mean, it's a massive number of cells that we're manufacturing on a daily basis.
Will there ever be a time where these are going to be sold at like an auto parts store? Like instead of just being directly put into the vehicle, like let's say it's run its course.
Yeah, you need to swap them out.
Yeah, and you just swap it out. Is it going to be that
good
kind
question.
of ease?
Yeah, I don't think so. One of the things I think that'll happen with maybe a battery of this magnitude is we'll look for other industries, right? So maybe there'll come a time where there's greater density and greater capability, but maybe our battery will work in a watercraft or some other kind of agricultural equipment. So I think that's where it'll evolve more than being at your local Pep Boys.
What is the housing like that contains the battery? What is the housing that the battery
It's kind of a vinyl pouch, if you will, right? So that's why they call it like a pouch cell. So I mean, you're basically taking this whole battery and then you wrap it in this, and I'll show you an example one at the end.
Yeah.
And then you're filling it with this electrolyte and making this whole process. So yeah, that's an example of what we'll be producing here, right? So
this is what all the fuss is about. It looks like a piece of tile.
Yeah.
And then will it stay encased in this?
It will. So you basically take these battery cells and you stack them up into a module and then a module into a pack, and then those packs are what go into the vehicle, right? So if you have a Hummer truck, that could be a significant amount of packs. If you have a Equinox, it's going to be less, right? But that's what I was saying. We really had this design to allow flexibility. So if it needs to orient this way, if it needs to orient this way, it really allows the engineers a lot of freedom to be able to design the vehicle.
To man a Hummer or a Silverado, I mean, so this is a very powerful battery.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the scale of this facility is really set up to create massive volume.
Amounts. And I just am shocked that this is the size.
Yep.
I mean, it's really, really shocking. Thank you. So once you're up and running, would it be okay if I called Brooke and then I got the official tour when things were really humming?
Absolutely, we'd love to show you.
And we get the actual production?
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, but hopefully today you just get some perspective of the scale, and then what I said, the uniqueness. I think that people will maybe come to appreciate of the, how complicated it is to make one of these batteries.
It really is, and I just think we're so lucky to have this facility in the Mahoning Valley. I don't think anyone has any idea of the, the size and magnitude of this.
Yep, this is kind of ground zero for everything that we've got to deliver to GM, so it's very exciting.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
I am here with Rude the Dude at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. What is happening?
Nothing. We just finished off last year strong with all of our parties in the banquet room. So we're starting already to book parties this spring in the banquet room also. We got a couple things we're working on for outside in the parking lot, a couple different big events that we'd like to put on this year for everybody. So we're starting the year out strong and starting to get ready.
Oh, looking forward to spring. And don't forget, you're looking for those local beers? They are right here on tap at the Magic Tree. And I gotta tell you, this Nitro Brew coffee is made right here.
Yeah, we make this in-house with our roasted beans from the Youngstown Coffee Company. So we support local coffee, beer, and food.
Oh man, always something happening right here. Go to their website, magictreepubandeatery.com, and find out more.
Donate now. GavaCamp has a generous family that will match every dollar you donate. Help us build a barrier-free educational camp for our friends with special needs. Visit our website or call for more details. Giving is living.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Is it time to update your color style? R&S Paint will assist you with your choice of over 3,400 Benjamin Moore colors. Vibrant, durable, and easy to apply. Be current, be stylish. Shop R&S Paint.
I'm all about local, and my bank is Farmers National Bank. Farmers is the true hometown bank in the Mahoning Valley, standing strong for our local families and businesses since 1887. Farmers is also future-focused with a lab branch, interactive teller machines, and best-in-class mobile mortgage app. We've all learned the value of local relationships, businesses, and communities. Switch to Farmers.
You better come on in my kitchen.
today I'm going to make for you a beautiful, easy, and delicious seasonal dish using the bounty of fresh asparagus. Right now, the stores are loaded with them, and look at them, pencil thin, the little skinny ones, that's what I love. And a bunch, which is about a pound, has about 30 to 40 spears. And instead of cooking it for this salad, I chop it small so you don't have to steam it to use it. It's so easy and delicious. I had chickpeas, fresh herbs, a little bit of sharp cheese. You are going to love this dish. So let's get going. I'm gonna give you the ingredients for my asparagus chickpea salad. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of thin asparagus spears, 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas drained and rinsed, 3 green onions chopped fine, white and green parts, 1/2 cup of chopped fresh parsley, 1/4 cup chopped fresh mint, 1/4 pound of a sharp cheese cut into small cubes, casery, Parmesan, Romano, juice from 1/2 lemon, 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and salt and pepper to taste. So I washed and dried the asparagus. And what you should do is take the asparagus and find that natural breaking point in the lower third, and then just snap it off before you start trimming it. Because if you don't do this, you are going to get the woody part, and you don't want the wood, but it naturally breaks. See, right there. Then just line up the asparagus spears, and I just cut them into little 1/4-inch pieces. And this makes it really easy to chew. It doesn't take away that it's raw, and the flavor is there. Now look how easy this is. I spent most of my time chopping. So now I have the asparagus cut into nice little pieces. Add the rinsed and drained chickpeas. This is a 15-ounce can. 1/2 cup parsley chopped fine. My onions. Now you could use a red onion here. This is a very versatile recipe. And if you want to put basil in, if you want to use lovage, I have a ton of mint in my garden right now, so I've been putting mint in everything. And then last but not least, the cheese. Now feta would work too if you like feta, but I thought that this was an interesting cheese. The casery is that nice firm cheese that they use in the Greek opa in the Saganaki. And I love it. It has a nice bite to it. So these are all our ingredients right now. Now, I'm going to make the dressing, okay? So I have the olive oil, and then the lemon juice. It's the juice from 1/2. If you want a little more, feel free. And then I just put in about a teaspoon of, making quite a mess, of the, rinse that off so we don't waste it, of some nice Dijon. Now, I do like to add a little salt right now. So if you want, feel free to do that. Okay, and then you just beat it up. Get it nice and foamy. Make sure you use all your ingredients. And look at that, nice and whippy. And then you pour it all over your salad. Now I think, now this is my opinion, that you should mix this up and make sure it evenly distributes throughout the salad. And I suggest that you let it sit in the fridge and let those flavors meld for a while. This makes a really good side dish. But if you want to make it more of a main course or an entree, I made some whole wheat Israeli couscous and I do it just according to the package, but instead of water, I use a little chicken broth to add to the flavor.
It is good.
But it also, makes it a bit more of a meal than just a side dish. What do you think?
It's delicious.
Yeah.
This would be good for the summer.
Yeah, I mean,
you take it to a picnic, you don't have to
exactly.
worry.
No mayonnaise.
No.
It's really good, really nutritious, and you can have all kind of different variations. If you want to add different herbs, if you want to add a different kind of cheese, I mean, you can keep adding to the ingredients or taking away. Salt and pepper to taste. Everyone's different. Add a little more lemon. Really, it's a very versatile recipe. And it has Jillian's approval.
It's delicious, Casey.
I'm glad you like it, Mommy. And this wine is so good, right in my price range, very reasonable. It is Confidencial. It is a Portuguese rosé. Ken found this, and it is refreshing.
I love the color.
Rosé all day, man.
Here's
I'll
the
tell you.
Ken.
There you go,
Here's
Ken. But my asparagus chickpea salad is really easy, and the ingredients and the recipe is online. Just go to my website, caseylastaprilrev.com. This is going to be showing up a lot this summer.
Good job, Casey. Good job.
Cheers.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.